Good evening, sir.
Good evening, everybody. So, dear friends, we'll start with today's session of Organon. We are discussing regarding the routes of administration of the medicine. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, sir, have mentioned that simple open route is the mouth, the tongue, the GI tract, the stomach. But when you put the medicine inside the mouth, it starts working. The nerve endings, which are so too sensitive inside the mouth, which immediately get stimulated and body reacts to it. And that's why it acting the medicine which acts at the center directly through the nerve endings, and it works. And that's why it is the best route. Second route of administration he has mentioned regarding the olfaction by the nose, if it is not possible by mouth. That is one more, because nerve endings which are present in nasal mucous membrane are also sensitive enough and to which human reacts. The third one, which he has explained, is related with the skin. But you should be cautious enough, he mentioned over there, that you should be cautious if patient is having the skin elements, and on the skin disorder, you should not apply the medicine. For the purpose of giving the medicine, not having the skin problem, not having the muscular problem, and then you just rub medicine over the skin, it can act. But they are not so sensitive as the mouth or nasal mucous membrane is sensitive. So these are three important routes, and in the footnote, which we have discussed in length in yesterday's lecture, that is through the mother's milk, you can transmit the dynamic energy, and you give the medicine to the mother and it acts on the infant. And that is one more best route which has mentioned over there. We have discussed all those in length. We have discussed aphorism number 285, where he mentioned regarding this, that local application is, as far as possible, you should avoid, because it can cause a suppression. And while discussing that, he has written a big footnote, and footnote is related with one more local application or local treatment which they used to do, or many people used to follow, and which is called as mineral baths. Many people take the mineral baths if they have skin problems. People feel that because of that it disappears, it vanishes. It never vanishes. It gets suppressed. It transmits from less important organ to the very vital or internal organ, and it causes a trouble. And that's why in length, Hahnemann have discussed about the mineral baths in this footnote. These are concluding part, where the Hahnemann tries to correlate different supportive measures which are there, and which are important, which are useful, and which are not useful. That also he has taken into consideration. So he highlights his thoughts regarding the mineral baths in the footnote. Let us go ahead with the footnote number 165. I think we'll finish this footnote only, because next aphorism is related with the magnetism, and that topic also we have to learn. So instead of going towards next aphorism, we'll finish this one, and we'll keep the next aphorism for tomorrow. From this fact may be explained those marvelous cures, however infrequent, where chronic deformed patients whose skin nevertheless was sound and clean were cured quickly and permanently after a few baths, whose medicinal constituents by chance were homeopathically related. What he is saying? Sometimes it happens that patient who takes mineral baths and his internal disorders sometimes disappears. This happens. This is possible. Because if that element is similar to that case, and he is not having the skin problems but internal problems. For example, the person is having internal problem like burning of palms and soles. The patient is too hot. He used to suffer from burning whole night, and he goes over there to take the mineral bath, and he takes the mineral bath, and next day he feels better. Because generally minerals contain sulfur in more, and because of which that sulfur, being a simillimum to that specific case, removes the internal symptoms also. But this is accidental. This never happens every time. But many times the problem arises. And how the problem arises, that's what he explains over there. On the other hand, the mineral baths very often brought on increased injury with the patient whose eruptions on the skin were suppressed. See, this is very important. If the patient is having skin eruptions and if he takes the mineral bath, many times those skin eruptions disappear. Person feels happy because there are no more skin eruptions. But what happens? He after taking the that mineral bath, after some time he starts getting internal symptoms. Then disease has shifted. Then disease has shifted to vital organ. This is what is the separation. And that's why Hahnemann says it causes more injury. And this is truth. This happens quite commonly. There are certain areas where such types of what you can say these places are there like Vajreshwari, where people goes for bathing. The hot water comes out over there, and they takes the bath over there, and their skin elements disappear. It contains more amount of sulfur in it, because of which, if the person who is having the skin element immediately gets feels better, and that means it travels, the disease travels from skin to internal organ without knowing to the patient, the separation happens. So one should not be very happy after happening such type of thing. After a brief period of well-being, the life principle allowed the inner uncured malady to appear elsewhere, more important for the life and health. So after these skin eruptions, which are suppressed because of mineral baths, after some time, the life energy starts expressing the same disease in a different organ. Earlier, it has produced on the less important organ, that is skin, but you have shifted it from the skin to the more vital organ. So this is too important. This one should not forget that mineral baths causes a damage, more damage, if it has been used for the skin eruption specifically. What he further says, at times instead, the ocular nerve would become paralyzed and produce amaurosis. Sometimes the crystalline lens would become clouded. Hearing loss, mania, or suffocating asthma would follow, or an apoplexy would end the suffering of the deluded patient. See how many problems develop. He has given multiple examples. Skin eruption disappears and something ocular problems develop. Some skin eruption disappears, ophthalmic trouble develops. Skin eruption disappears, some paralysis develops. Skin eruption disappears, cataract develops. Skin eruption disappears and hearing loss comes. But skin eruption disappears, mania can develop. There are many more. You cannot claim, yes, this is the only thing we're going to have. It depends upon that individual, the constitution of that individual, the miasmatic focus of that individual, the susceptibility of that individual, the susceptibility of specific system of that individual, and then disease appears with over there. So it is not fixed that skin, it will disappear from skin and it will enter into the brain. No, it varies from individual to individual. But definitely a vital organ gets affected. And this one should understand. In fact, this is the most important thing which he tries to explain. What he further comments, a fundamental principle of the homeopathic physician, which distinguishes him from every physician of all older schools, is this, that he never employs for any patient a medicine whose effects on the healthy human has not previously been carefully proven and thus made known to him. So he should not use anything which he don't know. If he would have not proved it on healthy human being and he doesn't know the provings of that remedy, he should not use. Unless and until you prove it on healthy human being, get data, get a pure materia medica, then you are sure that you are applying the law of similars and you are treating the patient. Without knowing, homeopathic physician should not do it. To prescribe for the sick on mere conjecture of some possible usefulness of some similar disease or from hearsay that a remedy has helped in such and such disease, such conscienceless venture म्हणजे साहस, धाडस. The philanthropic homeopathist, philanthropic चा अर्थ परोपकारी, philanthropic homeopathist will leave to the allopath. What he is saying? This is like allopath. This aspect is like allopathic aspect. Means you are prescribing on the just on the diagnosis, just on the one thought, just on conjecture. Yes, last patient was cured with the arsenic album. Let us give arsenic album to this patient because he is having little bit similar symptoms. Give arsenic album. This is a conjecture. If you make fixed ideas, you will definitely have more failure. This is what he wants to say. You should not make fixed prescription in your mind. Your prescription should be your prescription should depend upon the law of similars. Every patient is a new patient. You should be unprejudiced, take the whole care and find it out the similarity. A genuine physician and practitioner of our art will therefore never send the sick to any of the numerous mineral baths, because almost all are unknown so far as their accurate positive effects on the healthy human organism is concerned, and when misused, must be counted among the most violent and dangerous drugs. So, if genuine homeopathic practitioner is there, he will not going to send the patient to take mineral bath. The quack homeopathic practitioner will definitely take help because he is not finding the right solution. He will ask, take mineral bath. This is wrong. A genuine practitioner will not do it because mineral baths, what it contains, no one knows. You have not proved that specific water from that area. Unless and until you prove it, you should not use. Once you prove it on healthy human beings, yes, you must use it. And this is too important. What he further says, in this way, out of the thousands sent to the most celebrated of these baths by ignorant physician allopathically, uncured, and blindly said these perhaps one or two are cured by chance, more often written only apparently cured. The miracle is proclaimed aloud. So if the 1,000 people goes to take mineral baths, one or two find the cure, rest of them never. Hundreds meanwhile sneak म्हणजे गुपचूप निघून जाणे. Hundreds meanwhile sneak quietly away, more or less worse, and the rest remain to prepare themselves for the eternal resting place. A fact that is verified by the presence of numerous well-filled graveyards surrounding the most celebrated of these baths. Graveyards म्हणजे स्मशान. And many of them suffers from internal disorders, causing greatest problems of internal sorrow. And once your vital system gets affected, it definitely leads towards chronic disease, and every chronic disease ends with the death of the human. And this should not happen. Hahnemann warns regarding the mineral bath, one should not go away. And there is a footnote to footnote again in this paragraph. So there is star to the last word. That star is also having a meaning. So we'll read that star, what he says over there. A true homeopathic physician, one who never acts without correct fundamental principles, never gambles म्हणजे जुगार खेळणे, never gambles with the life of sick, entrusted to him as in a lottery where winner is ratio of 1:500 or 1,000, blanks here consisting of aggravation or death, will never expose any one of his patients to such a danger and send him for good luck to a mineral bath, as is done so frequently by the allopaths. in order to get rid of the sick in an acceptable manner, spoiled by him and or other. So what he said? A genuine homeopathic practitioner will never send his patient to take such mineral baths. Because you know that 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 500 will going to get better, and rest of them will going to get a internal sorrow. Rest of them will catch the chronic disease, and once they catch the chronic disease, it can damage the health of the person. And this is so truth which Hahnemann have discovered. It definitely off and on you have to get in your daily practice. Yes, you start treating the patients with some chronic disease and their skin eruptions reappears. Patient is not happy when it comes on skin, but you have to tell them, yes, this is the right way with which your internal disease is disappearing. Hahnemann was the first one who has discovered this thing, and it is till today we find the same truth again and again. We have to understand all those things. So Hahnemann mentions the caution regarding mineral baths. They are not, they should not be utilized for the patient. You should not send any patient to take the mineral bath and take a chance. No genuine practitioner will send the patient to take mineral baths, because if the local eruption disappears, it always causes separation and a secondary sorrow, which is very harmful to both. So that's all for today. We have finished this footnote. Tomorrow we'll start with the next two aphorisms. Those are related with magnetism, and we'll learn the magnetism, what Hahnemann wants to. So tomorrow we'll learn 286 and 87. What is Hahnemann's aspect of looking towards the magnetism. So any query, if it is there, we'll have a chat. Otherwise, we'll conclude. And one more announcement. Tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock, I will going to take lecture. Topic is learning materia medica through the Allens and Boric through clinical cases. So I will going to share one or two cases with remedy, and I will explain how to learn sentence and by sentence the Allen's keynotes or Boric's materia medica, or even sometimes by chance Lippe's keynotes. So these are all things which we have to learn in tomorrow's session, 9 o'clock. Ask your friends to join tomorrow's session. It is free for everyone. So they should be with same password and ID, they can attend. So tell them, everyone, that please join at 9 o'clock with this learning the materia medica from Allen and Boric. And you should be there with Allen and Boric so that you can understand the depth of it. Sir, any queries?
Sir, Dr. here, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is there any specific remedy from Allen or from Boric, sir?
I will going to share one remedy, but I will not disclose it today.
Okay, sir. Okay.
What happens, because if I disclose, no one will going to learn. No one will going to come to attend. Everyone feels that yes, I know the remedy. Because what happens, there is a problem with homeopaths and homeopathic students. They feel that they knows everything. This is the problem with homeopaths. We have
no, sir,
to
it is
understand
a
different things.
ocean, sir.
That's why it is necessary to learn every aspect. If I will going to share a simple remedy like LMCPA, we feel that yes, I know LMCPA, why to learn? But what is there with LMCPA, no one knows. We don't know the LMCPA, what it can cure. So that's why I will not going to share the name of the remedy, but I will going to share, yes, Allen's and Boric's materia medica, I will going to teach the remedy. Yes,
okay, sir. Thank you. It is ocean, sir.
Okay.
Sir, one more thing, sir. One more question.
Yes.
Sir, in aphorism 5, already you have discussed, sir, an aphorism 206 footnote. In this case, sir, in acute cases, exciting cause is there, but in chronic cases, exciting cause is will you consider as exciting cause in chronic cases,
No.
chronic miasmatic cases?
Chronic miasmatic cases, the exciting cause will not going to produce chronic disorder. Exciting cause is only responsible to produce acute disorder. Chronic diseases are the results of chronic miasms, fundamental cause. That's why Hahnemann used one word in the fifth aphorism. The chronic
Yes,
diseases
sir.
are because of fundamental cause. And here he wants to explain the SORA. Fundamental cause relates to the SORA. Rest of the two
Yes.
miasms are the products of SORA. That's why he never says that rest of two miasms are also fundamental causes. Fundamental cause is the SORA. So chronic diseases are always because of the fundamental cause, not because of exciting cause. So for example, today there is a rainy weather, rains are good. If person gets wet and he comes to you with a joint pains, it is not a chronic disease. It is exciting cause which is responsible for that patient to produce joint pains. You prescribe acute remedy, it disappears. But if this fellow who comes to you have a chronic rheumatism, it is from 10 years he is suffering from chronic rheumatism, then the exciting cause will not going to do anything. It is there because of his chronic miasm. Might be because psychotic miasm, it might be because psychosyphilitic, but that is in background because of which he is suffering. So exciting cause will not going to do produce any acute disorder, chronic disorder. Exciting cause is responsible for acute disorders.
Thank you, sir. But in Clark dictionary, in aconite, Dr. Clark has written regarding there someone has gone to IC area, IC cold area, and he has been suffering from chronic rheumatism. In that case, doctor has prescribed aconite. So this is the confusion, sir.
That is only for present state of disease. That is only for the present state. State is different and
yes.
Chronic disease is different. State is presenting state. Yes, aconite will be the remedy for the presenting state. Rustox will be the remedy for the presenting state if the modalities and everything matches. But it will not cure the chronic disease. It will cure definitely a state with which patient has come to you, a presenting state only. Aconite has one-day action. Aconite doesn't have a in-depth action. So aconite will not going to cure chronic disease. Aconite will cure the acute state which is developed in a chronic disease patient. That acute state will definitely get settled with aconite.
Sir, can I ask one question, sir?
Hmm?
Sir, can I ask one question, sir?
You put your question so that we'll discuss it next lecture also. Sir also wants to discuss something.
Sir, where the drug period, in which book the drug period is given, sir? You are telling agonite will act for 1 day, lacasis will act for the causticum will be long acting remedy. This which book?
In Borix Materia Medica, at the end, Gibson-Miller's remedy relationship is given. There he has mentioned the actions. Borix Materia Medica, even in Kent's repertory, at the end, he has given the Gibson-Miller's remedy relationship.
Okay.
There the actions of the remedies are mentioned. And much more work has been done by Dr. P. Shankaran, sir. If you read the system of homeopathy, it's the elements of homeopathy by Dr. P. Shankaran, there also you get many more remedies where the actions are mentioned, which are not there in Gibson Miller. There are many remedies which are mentioned by them. Then one more book, that is the clinical repertory by J.H. Clark. There also in that repertory, J.H. Clark have mentioned many remedies and their actions. These are different books, but if you want much more, you can get it from J.H. Clark's clinical repertory. And second thing, from the elements of homeopathy by P. Shankaran, sir. Yes, anything else?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You put
Regarding Econite, sir.
what are your questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
What are,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Utpal, what are your questions? You put it in chat box so that I can easily understand them.
Okay, sir. Okay, I'll send, sir.
Okay, you send and we can discuss. And while even whenever you are discussing, write over there in chat box so that it
Okay,
becomes
sir.
quite easy.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, so we'll discuss tomorrow the rest of the questions and everything. And tomorrow we'll meet twice at 6 o'clock as well as at 9 o'clock. Okay, thank you being there, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.